Hey everyone, this is Troy Alexander, Inspiration with Troy Alexander, and we are back one more time. I am so excited. We have an amazing guest, but before we get to her, listen, we come on every time to encourage you to follow your dream. Our motto is dream, take that step and walk with purpose into your destiny. So I'm excited tonight to encourage you. Listen, go get your dream. You are worth your dream. No matter what has been, take this moment now and take the next step towards your destiny. And guess what? If you need a cheerleader, I'm one. You can do this, I'm telling you. I'm so excited tonight. Listen, we are on Facebook, as you know already. We're on YouTube, Inspiration with Troy Alexander Live, and Instagram. You know I love taking pictures. Follow us at Troy Alexander Photo, at Troy Alexander Photo. Tonight, we have an amazing guest. Listen, she is Miss Grand New Jersey 2023, Miss New Jersey USA 2022, first runner-up. I can't wait to talk to her about that. New York City Educator. Wow, amazing. Listen, first generation Indian and Haitian. Gonna talk more about that. She's a petite model and representation advocate. Wow, listen, she has a bachelor's degree in communication and a post-baccalaureate in communications and leadership. She's a signed model, y'all. I'm not done yet with NYMMG, and she models for Good Day Philadelphia and Good Day New York. Welcome, Christine Pierre. How are you tonight?
Hello, thank you so much for having me, Troy. What an introduction. I'm flattered. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for this honor. We are so proud that you took the time out to be on our broadcast. Listen, I have to ask you, as I was reading your bio and we were getting ready to put the flyer together, I saw that you had in there first generation Indian and Haitian. Why was that important for you to emphasize, not only in the bio, but on the flyer itself?
I am first generation before anything. Being that my parents came from opposite sides of the world. My mother is from India and my father is from Haiti, and they both came here to give me opportunity and give me a better life. So I think that putting that at the forefront of my identity, or at least the foundation, is really important. So that's what I do.
Wow. And you spoke about identity. Can you tell me when did this become an important part? At what age, or like at what point in your journey did that become important to you in terms of identity?
I think I've always, you know, identified as Indian, identified as Haitian, but it wasn't until I guess I graduated and went to college and was able to leave home, and have to explore who I am independently, separately from my family. And growing up in my household, it's, a vacuum of mixed cultures. So that was my normalcy. I identified with being of mixed heritage, of speaking both French and Creole, or at least hearing French and Creole in my home, and hearing my mom speak Malayalam, or honestly whatever other language she's speaking at the moment. So I think leaving my home, I had to figure out who I was, not having that as an environment to claim as an identity. So yeah, I think my
Wow.
adult years is when I really figured out that I needed to double down on
I
honoring
love
my
it.
culture.
I love it. I love it. And it seemed like you have embraced it. You have truly embraced that as a part of who you are. And I love that about you. So thank you so much for doing that. I have to ask you too, there's so much that you're involved in. You're an educator, you're a supermodel, right? You're all of these amazing and so much more that we're going to talk about. Did you ever feel that you had to represent more than just you?
Um, every time I do a shoot, every time I step on a stage, every time I do anything, I always feel like
Wow.
I'm representing the person that thinks they can't be in my spot. They
Wow.
can. I was once that girl who um, just didn't think that I was allowed to. I thought I needed permission to want to be in front of a camera or celebrated or watched or just even enjoyed like so yeah, I think that was really important for me.
And at any point in your journey, did it become overwhelming or not so much in terms of knowing that I have to be this because it's more than just me? Did you ever feel like the weight of that at all or the responsibility of that at all?
So there it is. I wouldn't say it's a weight. I
Right.
would say it's a responsibility.
Yes.
Um, as I've grown, I guess in roles, and I don't even like to call them roles, they're just who I am, they're aspects of my life.
Yes.
So as I've become a model and as I've become a title holder in pageants and just involved in so many different things, I've learned that I have to just be grateful for the opportunity to be in that spot. And that will be what's going to carry me through and what's going to block out what could be considered a weight or a burden or any of those other things, like the things that you want in life and the things that are um, honorable take work and it takes responsibility. So I don't consider it a burden. I'm grateful.
Well, thank you for accepting the responsibility of being the amazing you because you have impacted so many lives that you don't even know. Because again, even before this time, like we didn't know each other, right? Until I sent the invite. We follow it, I follow, but you don't know how many lives that you are impacting because you chose to be you. You chose to embrace you of who you are. And that's powerful. And thank you for sending that message because the world needs it. So thank you so much. I don't know if you wanted to share anything on that before I go on. but
Um, Same to you. I feel like the work that you do is impacting people. And I mean, I'm here right now. And from, the little that we've spoken thus far, I'm truly inspired. So
well, thank you. Thank you. I again, everybody, I'm telling you, Christine is such an amazing individual. Again, I said supermodel and I meant it. Supermodel, right? I'm talking to like Good Day Philadelphia, Good Day New York, fashion show, Miami Swim Week, New York Fashion Week. Listen, I just want to make sure, Christine, that I get my original signed copy of your cover on Vogue and Elle and
I
Emily
got you.
Claire. Thank you. Thank you. So I got to ask you because you put in your bio that you are a petite model. Can you just explain to the audience what that means in that world?
So in the modeling world, being a petite model means that you are 5'5" or under. So it's nothing about weight, it's nothing about size or shape, it's mostly about height. Um, so I am just under 5'5". I'm 5'4.5". Um, so I fall under the category of petite model. So typically for runway and fashion shows, you'll see 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", 6 foot, even higher if you can. But for me, it's very rare to see a 5'4", 5'5" woman on the runway. Um, until I decided that I wanted to be that woman on the runway. So um, so going back to being the girl who never thought she could, I never thought I was tall enough to be on a runway, but here I am. So yeah, I think it's just deciding
Yes.
what to say no to. Like not even what to say yes to, but what to be like, no, I don't think that that rule or that limitation sits right with me. And that translates to so many different things that I've taken on from pageantry. When I first came in, I was just 2, maybe 1.5 years away from aging out, and I had no experience. And I didn't care that I was considered getting old for pageantry. I thought like even if I don't make a huge splash, like I'm gonna make this part of my life. I'm gonna let this change me. And as I let the system change me, the system changed itself. And they raised the age limit because they saw women such as Arbany Nola, former Miss Universe, who stood on stage and said, if not now, then when? You can't tell us that we're no longer desirable or good or usable because we've hit a certain age. So, yeah, just big no to all the rules and limitations.
Listen, Christine, I love the fact that you said, I'm here. I'm here. And you love
Yeah.
the fact you said, you know what? I can be that. Those words of inspiration can shift an entire mindset of a
Mhm.
generation. Be like, yes, I know they said no, but it doesn't change my yes, right? Inside of me, I've said, yes, I can do this. And I'm telling you, Christine, and listen, everyone, you talked about pageantry without any prior pageant experience. So I'm just going to listen. You competed for Miss New Jersey USA 2022 and got first runner up. So first of all, I want to know, what was that experience like? And what was that preparation like? What did you said to yourself? Like, was this for you or to prove what's those no's? Or what was, tell us that journey to that platform.
I mean, it was 2 years ago, and I'm still in shock and grateful as I was that night, the crowning night. Um, I again never thought that I would do pageants. I was raised in a pretty conservative household as far as like religion goes, Baptist Christian, and I still, am spiritual and um, honor my faith, but I wasn't allowed to be on stage and be honoring my womanhood in the way that I do now. So I felt called to take that chance on myself, even if I wasn't going to win, even if I wasn't going to place. Um, Everything that the pageant promised me as far as development, and who I would be when I came out. I'm crying. Oh my God. Every time I talk about the way that pageantry has changed me as a woman, just challenging myself. And I guess that goes to what you asked about preparation. It's a lot of internal work of knowing who you are and loving who you are. Um, Honestly, and I'm gonna take a second to just pull myself together because I don't want to be
It's okay.
that crying girl. But
No,
yeah,
it's
just truly loving who you are,
yes.
and being unapologetic about that. I am, I don't know any other half Haitian, half Indian people besides my siblings. I know that they exist, and thanks to social media and different pages that are coming together to show the solidarity of Black and Brown people and South Asian people coming together, that didn't exist. So being able to stand on stage and say that this is who I am, and I'm not going to let it take a backseat. I'm not going to be quiet about it. I'm very proud of my heritage. I think being Haitian, we are the first free Black nation in the world. And I'm crying now.
That's okay.
Um,
We're so proud
it's
of you.
Haitian Heritage Month. I, I have a napkin. It's Haitian Heritage Month. And we're really celebrating how our people were resilient enough to cement their claim and their place in this world, and then to go on to other nations and do the same.
Yes. And you
Um,
are a representation of that, Christine. You are an inspiration to the world, to every student that has been blessed to be in your presence, everyone that has been blessed to be in your presence. has been moved and impacted because you decided to be you. You decided to say, this is who I am. You decided because you share with us, right, that pageantry, being on stage, doing those type of platforms weren't something that was a norm in your growing up process or journey. But you said, you know what? I can. I
I
can.
can.
I can.
And you can
And
too.
and yes, and you went on that stage without any prior experience, pageant experience, and placed first runner up. Who does that? But someone, but someone that has a special calling and destiny upon their life. And so what I love about when I read, I'm not sure if it's in your bio or on social media, but you use the words a leap of faith, a
Mm.
leap of faith. And that was so powerful to me. And thank you for taking that leap because it has changed not only you, I can only imagine, right? Having been 2 years ago, but you're still feeling the impact of that moment. And I just imagine everyone who witnessed it. And I didn't even
Yeah.
witness it, but I feel it. I feel as I was there, Christine. So
You know,
it's
what I love is that there are people who are flies on the wall who have seen um just the craziest things that go on literally backstage.
right.
For example, if I can tell a little story,
Yes, yes.
I was wearing my evening gown, but I had swim earrings on. And I know this sounds so minuscule, but I was wearing like hoop earrings when it should have been something crystal and dangly to go with my very elaborate gown that we planned for that one night for 10 minutes, right?
Right.
Um, and I realized right before I was about to go on stage, and the dressing room is like a 4 or 5 minute walk
Wow.
away. And the moment I realized it, I ripped my shoes. Well, first I started running just in my heels, sprinting in my heels, ripped my shoes off, and just booked it. And as I was sprinting back to the dressing room, that's when I realized, oh, this is why I was in the gym every day.
Wow.
Oh, this is why I was literally sprinting and lifting weights because it's like those little moments of
Yeah.
not making it. And I grabbed those earrings and I was running, and there are, chaperones kind of that stand in little stations. And I did one earring, she was doing one shoe. Someone opened the bathroom door, and just as I picked my head up, ready to go, missed it. I would have been knocked out cold, made
Wow.
it back in time. And, I know people see it because we're in a long hotel corridor. And it was getting those messages afterward, after, moment after moment, just like that one happened all night long. And you just got to keep rolling with the punches. But people would message me after the fact and be like, I saw you sprinting like a linebacker. I don't know if that's what linebackers do, but I did it. And yeah, it's like those fly on the wall moments that people don't see.
Wow. Wow. Just listen, what inspired me so much, you inspired me just being just the amazing you. But in that story, you talked about how, oh, that's why I was working out. That's why, and
Mhm.
sometimes people, especially youth, right, can't seem to connect. Why am I doing this now? Because I don't see where it's connected to what I'm doing now. But who knew, right? That moment required something more out of you. But you
Right.
had prepared yourself because that was where you were in that. And so thank you for, because again, sometimes we don't understand why this moment, because you don't see where it's connected to, but it's connected to your next moment. So
Right. That's
thank
exactly it. That's exactly how
you.
I've gotten to where I am, I suppose. Because me accepting a job to teach in China, literally leading me to a pageant,
Wow.
it wasn't direct. Like, I went to China to teach and got my first modeling job just at taking a shot. and it just happened to be that I was overseas, so it was international and
Wow.
came home. And that's how that journey started. And like going to China, like I never really wanted to be a teacher. I mean, I love my job now and I love my kids, but I never thought that that's, what I was going to end up doing. But I knew that going overseas and just pushing myself out to sea
Yeah.
and like going on a little adventure was going to lead me to something. I was going to find something. And there I had no distractions to say, um, you want something else. Like, no, I knew I wanted to be on stage. I knew I wanted to be behind a camera. I had no one to tell me otherwise.
Wow.
So it happened.
Wow. Christine, I have that. Wow. Um, Going to China. That tell me about how you even gain the courage to do that, because I unless you have family or friends there, I mean, I don't know, but I'm assuming you don't, but maybe you do. Um,
No.
but how did you gain the courage? Because most people that I know of find a place of comfort, right? It's where they're safe and
Mhm.
comfortable. How did you pick up and go to a place and sort of release any level of things that you're holding up? Things are new. How did you gain the courage to do that?
Well, personally, I'm blessed by having parents who gave up everything
Wow.
to
Wow.
have a better life, to have children who have opportunities and didn't have to struggle the way that they did.
Hmm.
And they left their entire family. Like, not only am I first generation, but my parents are like some of the first in their family to leave their home countries to do that. Um, and so, I mean, I grew up, being comfortable leaving the country to visit. But there's something great on the other side of your fear. My dad came here and his brothers had to confiscate his passport. Like they physically took his passport because he would be so upset and homesick. And same with my mom. So, but they stuck it out and they built this life for us. And I didn't even get to like really be alive to see that version of the hardship,
Yeah.
but it's with us now. And so I take that on as my identity. I'm not scared. I want more. So, yeah.
Christine, please. I don't know if this is going to be your best-selling book or your best-selling documentary or your best-selling movie, full-length movie, or what, or lifetime movie. I don't know, right? Whatever. But you have to include somewhere the powerful statement you just said. There's something greater on the other side of fear. Christine, wow.
Every time.
I
Every
felt
time.
that when you said, oh my goodness, that is a power. There's something greater on the other side of fear. Well,
Mhm.
thank you so much for conquering that fear and taking that. And it seems like there was something that your parents instilled within you about their ability to leave everything and
Mhm.
want something better or something more or something, just something, right? That they were,
Mhm.
and it seems like that's become a part of you innately. Something deep down inside of you gave you the strength to be able
Yeah.
to say, I'm going, wow. And then that's where you get your first modeling opportunity. I'm like,
Mhm.
and so how did teaching come about?
Um, I mean, I just saw the job, honestly, just Googling, what am I gonna do?
Here
Um,
in China?
well, in the United States.
Okay, okay, okay.
I make it seem so simple, but I had just finished a post-baccalaureate in communication and leadership.
Yes.
So that's a graduate certificateship. So it's graduate studies, but not fully a master's. I might finish my master's. We don't know yet. Um, but yeah, I finished my post-bac and was looking for something to do after I just interned for a senator. And I tried and I succeeded. But
Um,
no, I didn't think that China would call me, but China just literally called my phone and I said yes.
wow. Wow. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you.
No,
Thank
yeah, it
you.
was the greatest adventure of my life, and it introduced me to another passion of mine, which is teaching. Like, as
Yes.
far as like
Wow.
education, elementary education, like I didn't think I would ever be working with kids. I love kids. I
Wow.
love my students so much.
I know
So
they love
yeah.
you. I
Oh,
I know they love you too, Christine. I can imagine, but that's wonderful. Well, I gotta ask you because there's something very powerful about you. Um, and it's strong, it's moving, it's caring. I have
mhm,
to ask you about this sense of advocacy because as I read your bio and I'm hearing more about your journey, um, in the self identification of who you are, what moment, what experience, what happened where all of a sudden you have this desire to advocate for women to be greater, to feel seen and represented
mhm.
in entertainment and the fashion and the beauty industry. Where did that come from?
Well, you say moment, but they're continuous moments. There's so many moments that have happened, are still happening, and are going to happen. Um, but like I said, going back to the foundation of my people being
Mm.
rooted in liberation and rooted in
Wow.
justice,
Wow.
that from my ancestors translates to me today. But then my father as well, who works in the judicial system, but coming from Haiti, has always been um, interested in politics and not just interested in politics. I'm sorry. My father has a degree in political science, and he also has a PhD in public administration. So he's very certain about justice and about freedom.
Wow.
And he's also a poet, so he writes a lot about freedom and a lot about our people and our Black experience being Haitian and Haitian American.
Wow.
My sister is a biogeochemist or forest ecologist as well, but her work is actually rooted in liberation and looking at how the effects of slavery and the effects of plantation work affected the earth and are actually linked to climate change and things that are happening today, almost like a um, biological thumbprint on a microbial level. So she has always been an inspiration for me as well from the time that we were in high school, and she created a group called Students for Change and now has a nonprofit and is a National Geographic scientist um, with Critical Ecology Lab. So I've always just been around people who demand justice, who demand equality for all people.
Wow.
And yeah, that's just very important for me.
I love, I love the power of your words, liberation and freedom, justice. Thank you so much, Christine. I thank you for sharing that platform. Your father, my goodness, your sister, your whole family.
Hey,
You,
I talk so much about other people, but truly that's where I draw the light
yes.
from. Yeah.
And you have become this amazing light. I am so proud of you. I am beyond proud of you. And even yet, what you are still to become. Like we're seeing the greatness now, everybody. But listen, there is so much more that is coming for Christine Pierre. I'm telling you, we're so excited for you, Christine. And I can't wait to see what is next for you. I wanted to ask you this, and in your description, right, of this advocacy, you talk about wanting women, I'm sure but with that particular women to feel seen, right?
Mhm.
Not just be seen. Can you elaborate a little bit on why your choice of words to feel seen?
Yeah. I think choice of words is always very important.
Yeah.
And as women of color and as a South Asian woman, as a Haitian woman, we're here. We're in the pictures, we're in the films, we're in the things. I mean, not as much as we should be, but we are. And so physically, we're seen. Our
Wow.
culture is seen. Our culture is loved and consumed and changed and regurgitated and sold. But we need to tell the stories or allow us to tell our stories. We get to decide if we feel seen. Like we'll tell you when we feel like you've got it right, kind of. So yeah, like I want to, not just be behind a camera, but I want to be in charge of my story.
Wow.
I want to be in charge of my narrative. I
Yes.
can't let someone else write history. We've seen what, you know? So which is why I'm so adamant about telling people about my culture and where I come from.
Wow.
History is everything. Your story is everything. It changes lives. So, yeah.
When is your national tour? National motivation.
Monday.
Yes, yes. And I want to be in the
God
gallery
willing.
taking pictures on your national tour. I love it.
Please. I would love to have you. Please
Oh
come.
my goodness. No, no, I am just I'm just really inspired by you. I can't even begin to tell you how much I'm excited to just hear you. Your freedom, liberation, just identity, who you are. And I love, were you always vocal? Were you always, did you always have the ability to express this freedom and liberation, or not so much at certain times in your journey?
Troy, not so much. I pretty much had my thumb in my mouth until, I was like 5. So I didn't say anything. I would just be like
Wow.
observing. And my mom tells me this now. She was like, you wouldn't say anything
Wow.
unless you really had to. You just, say what you had to say, and then went back to observing. Um, and I think that's just kind of how I am now. I need to kind of assess
Yeah.
the room and see where I fit. And that's just maybe a thing that I have to do. Maybe that's a thing that other people of mixed race can relate to, or like different, very unique backgrounds. Um, but yeah,
Wow. Wow. I love the strength of your voice.
thank you.
Not only to want to feel seen, being seen, but control the scene, to control
Yeah,
the narrative, to control so that you can be honest and transparent and authentic
yeah.
in the messaging and the story that you're sharing and your journey. And who better else to say it or tell it but you? So thank you
And
so
me.
much. Yes, yes,
I think,
yes. I love it. I love, and there's so much that, and again, a New York City educator, again, bachelor's degree. Were you intentional about leadership and that aspect of your educational journey? Was that something that you were intentional about?
I think just honing the skills to be a good leader is something that I've always been intentional about, but not like necessarily where I would apply that. I knew that I would need those skills and those qualities in everything that I do.
Yes.
And I knew that everything that I do is so vast, but that's also what's so important about being um, allowed to explore who you are. People are multidimensional. They, can cover so many different fields. So I just feel, yeah, yeah.
Wonderful. You talked about being a teacher. I love it.
Mhm.
And I know your students are so grateful to have you, because I know you are an awesome teacher. I haven't even seen you teach, but I know you're amazing and awesome. So, but I wanted to ask you, in this world, we've talked about people who we would like to either imitate, or their role models, or their inspirations to us in some way. Um, Whether you see yourself as a role model or not, I know you are, so no worries about that. But I wanted to ask you, what do you hope that your students see in you or glean from you beyond what you're teaching them? But what do you hope that they would learn from you as a person?
Um, I think, like I was just talking about multidimensionality, um, they see me as a teacher, and sometimes they get to catch a glimpse of the pageant queen or the model. Um, and I just want them to know that their dreams don't just look one way. They might have the idea that they'll become, you know, a superstar, and that's it. Or, and that might happen, great. Or an artist all the time. I just paint. Cool if that happens for you. Um, but sometimes it's a balance of a lot of different things. Sometimes it's just not linear. I don't want them to feel like their life is going to be linear, like there are steps to success or like who they have to be. Um, and so, yeah, I want them to be able to be multidimensional, prove people wrong, be that unlikely character that pops into the story and changes the script. Okay. Like, I think those conjunctions of identities are also really important. For example, my sister, going back to my sister, who is a scientist, but brings social justice into it.
Wow.
And it's at this level that creates new conversations that are changing the world.
Yes.
So I want them to see it's important to just accept your journey, the fullness of it, the fullness of your identity, and that I love them. I want them to know that too. So
I know they feel it. They have to feel it, Justine. And when is your children's book coming out?
actually, I've always wanted to write one, so hopefully soon. Hopefully soon.
Yes, yes. Listen, I saw that as you were talking. I could see you doing a children's book, right?
Mhm.
And I love that it's not linear, right? Some people, we think it's a straight line from here to
Mhm.
my goal, from here to my destiny. But who knew the goal that your journey would take from here to China? And then I saw, I don't know, on
Mhm.
Instagram, Australia. I don't know where Australia came into your journey, but I saw that
Yeah.
somewhere. So I don't know where that fits. But I love how you say that. Listen, be open to your
Mhm.
journey, taking different pathways to get to where you are destined to be. So,
Right.
um, so are you going to tell us about Australia?
If you'd like to hear it,
No,
I
no.
study abroad there.
Oh,
That was my
wow.
first, yeah, that was my first little taste of like real independent
Wow.
travel.
Oh,
So that's why I was actually really comfortable to go abroad, is
I love it.
thankfully to my
I love it.
university.
I love it. Well, I have to ask you, in terms of, let me go back a little bit to pageantry. Is that more? I mean, listen, 2022, 2023, my goodness, Miss Grand New Jersey 2020. Is pageantry something that you're looking to continue in?
Now that they have raised the age limit, I will be continuing. So we did not see this coming, but I will be back.
Yes. Well, listen, I would definitely be cheering for you and supporting you in any way that I can. And not only that, everybody, she is a signed model, my goodness, with NYMMG. What was that moment like?
Surreal. I think I've had so many pinch me moments that I'm still trying to convince myself, yes, girl, you're not an imposter. You are a sign model. But I'm so grateful. Um, and I'm also moving on to work with another agency as well. So I think like just kind of building up the reputation and building up the connections has really shown myself that like I've been here and I can do this.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm so grateful and happy.
I love it. I love it. I have to ask you about your preparation. Well, let me ask you this. How do you balance it all? You're an educator, you're a supermodel, you're a title holder, you're about to be an author. I mean, there's so much that a traveler, world trap. How do you balance it all and be able to maintain all of that at the same time?
Um, there just has to be something that you want more than you're struggling. There were days, I haven't mentioned this, but after I came back from China for a period during essentially like right after the pandemic, I sold cars. So I was a car salesperson with no car sales experience, but I would do Good Day Philadelphia in the morning at like 6 a.m. Philadelphia, book it back to New Jersey, make it in to work probably like 8, 9 if I was lucky that day, and then sell cars for 12 hours. And then I would leave there and go do like my pageant preparation questions. And eventually I was acquiring a coach at that time. So I would take my work calls and sell my cars, and then take a pageant call and try to figure out what in the world I needed to even step foot in this place of pageantry. Um, and it was just making it work. If you want something, you will figure it out. I would just like take a piece of paper and like map out my brain of all of the things that could connect that would get me somewhere that I need to be. And there's got to be something you want more.
Thing you you have to listen. We're gonna talk about the podcast, but you have to want something more than your struggle. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. There are so many inspirational words that you're sharing with us. I'm like, wow, so powerful. You have to want something more than your struggle. Thank you. Thank you for wanting more than that because we need you. The world needs you and your light, your inspiration, your joy, your perseverance, your strength, your persistence. We need it. And thank you for being that example to so many. Um, thank you. Thank you. I have to ask you with all of that, right? Going to Philadelphia, selling cars, going to school, going to China, teaching. Where do you find time for you? Self-care is such a big part of, you hear it now, self-care, self-love, self-care. But tell me about how do you define that in your life?
Um, well, since I do a lot of the things that already fill my soul, I'm
Wow.
blessed to, call some of the things I do self-care, such as
Wow.
dance. I am a trained contemporary dancer. I have danced for the majority of my life, from competition team to it being roped into my school curriculum to um, getting back into dance as an adult. So that for me is really a therapeutic experience. I still train to this day. So, and it comes in handy for pageantry and modeling as well, and just knowing how to work in front of a camera and move my body. Um, so yeah, that form of self-care gets to translate into my work and other things. And that also goes for yoga. I do hot yoga. I guess you could say it's Bikram inspired, but I do hot yoga, which has prepared me for, pageantry and modeling, but also helped me learn mindfulness, discipline, patience, tenacity, withstanding the heat, like the heat. So yeah, it's
Wow.
been great.
Wow. You have achieved so much, and there's so much more to go. I am so excited, Christine, about your next chapter, your next day, your next moments in your journey, because to me, whatever you set your mind to, you can achieve. You have this, it's called like whatever it is, you have this that continues to propel you forward. I have to ask you, and I'm sure people are just thinking, was there ever a time where you did not know what was next or didn't know how you would get through that moment in your journey? Or were you able always to find a way through or a way? But did you ever have moments like that or feel that way in any way?
Right now, right now. Reason being, you never know how you're going to get to the next. God keeps surprising me. I know nothing, but I'm faithful and I'm ready and I'm patient and I'm waiting. So I'm not scared of the future. I move by faith. I don't move by fear. So no, I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but I do know I'm competing next month. I do know I have work on Monday.
Yes.
I do know I'm probably gonna go get my nails done after this, but other than that, I'm chilling.
Listen,
But you know,
and maybe you can add to that list. I know I'm going to do a photo shoot with Troy in the next year. Uh, but
that
listen,
too,
I
that too.
love,
There
I
are
love,
shoots lined up. I do have shoots and like gigs and other little things other
yes.
things I got to do, but um,
Oh, that's such a powerful place
future
to
is
be.
still playing out.
That's such a powerful place to be, to knowing, yeah, I have, but who knows? But I'm not afraid. I'm not
Yeah,
afraid.
I'm
And
excited.
that's and fear, fear has kept so many people back from taking that step. So thank you for being that example of taking that step. I gotta, with social media and everything now, with you know sometimes it can be not so kind. Have you ever had that experience of people not being so kind and so nice?
You know, I think it's hard not to on social media. People just say whatever. Um, but I also I don't know if you know this, I was on a reality show on MTV.
Oh,
Um, and I filmed a season of a show called Siesta Key. And it was the last season. And it was something that I just did because my really good friend was on the show, and thought it would be really interesting to, have me spend the summer, kind of modeling down in Miami, doing different things.
wow,
And the experience was definitely so educational as far as like learning how to work a camera and different things like that. Um, Pros. Cons was that I was really allowing myself to be seen in a very vulnerable light, as far as not having control over my story and my
wow,
narrative,
wow.
and my truth and how I feel I should be seen or portrayed. So I knew going into that experience that I was pretty much just like giving people free reign to decide what they want about me. But I knew that was going to happen anyway. Anything I do going forward, as far as pageantry, as far as acting, as far as modeling, it's for people. It's for you. I make it and I put it out, and they decide if they what they want to do with it. So um, I deleted Twitter after that show aired, after that season aired. Um, and yeah, there are always going to be haters, there are always going to be naysayers, but I'm building off of, I'm
Yes.
building off of them.
Yes, you
Yeah.
are. Thank you for that. Thank you, because so many people don't do that, right? They tend to sort of go into a space and it holds them back. And but I wanted to talk a little bit about, you talked about the vulnerability and about being transparent and being vulnerable and being um sometimes people don't want to share so much of who they are because they
Mhm.
feel it makes them vulnerable. Um to me, it sounds like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like the more you share who you are and your journey, it works the opposite. It makes you stronger. Do you sense that as well?
Yeah, I do. And I think that's what I'm doing right now.
Yes.
I feel stronger. I did a full show on MTV. People don't know this because I hide it and I suppressed it. And um
Wow.
it hiding it and suppressing it only makes me feel insecure about
Mm,
what I made and what I did.
wow.
Um, and I don't want to do that anymore. And I feel even just I didn't have to tell you that, but
Right.
I decided like you have a right to know. Like I filmed a whole show. You're telling me like you're proud of all of these things. That's a whole summer and a whole chunk of my life that I don't tell people. I'm a regular teacher, but I'm fully,
But
have a double life. So.
but what you don't realize about me, Christine, because of your willingness, I think even more highly of you. So because you were willing to share the moments that you felt were not positive or weren't something you wanted to share publicly, but you wanted to hide that. But because of the strength of you to be able to say, yes, that was part of, and guess what? It's even made me greater who I am today. So thank you for
Absolutely.
being truth. Thank you for sharing your truth. Thank you for sharing those moments because it is empowering other people who are watching this or who will watch this to say, you know what? Yes, I had my moment and I had another moment, but I'm here
Hmm.
today, right? And so that doesn't define, that doesn't stop the definition of who you are. It
Right.
builds upon that and makes it greater into who you are now and who you're still to become. So that moment isn't the end, but it's part of the recipe, as part of the composition that's building. So I always tell you, listen, those rocks as they're thrown upon you, right? What it actually helps you do are those moments that you feel they're building platforms of mountains that you're stepping on that's actually elevating you greater than where you would have been. So thank you, Christine. Thank you for being transparent with that and just sharing more. So I got to ask you again, I'm not going to keep you because I could probably keep you another hour, but what is it that you want to, is there more that you have defined on your vision board that you really would love to achieve? Even out of all that, I mean, first generation Haitian, first generation Indian, supermodel, signed with NYMMG. You're an educator. My goodness, changing lives, right? Teachers are like the superstars to me in the world, right? You've traveled abroad, educated, degreed, um, liberated. My goodness, your family. What is there more on your vision board that you could even add that you want to add?
The vision board is growing every day. It's kind of a problem. No, but I mean, I do want to write a children's book, if not a book. I, I want to be a writer. Um, I want to be an action hero in movies. I want to play very physical, demanding roles as a strong woman. Um, Music is such a big part of my life. I want that to take more of a forefront. Um, there are just so many things that I want to do, and this the same way that things have kind of folded over into each other from teaching, turning to modeling, back to teaching, back to modeling, and kind of fueling itself. I know that all of these things will have a chance to stand in its own light and have its moment and teach me something else to get to the next little lily pad. So, yeah.
Everyone, get ready because I'm going to the ribbon cutting ceremony of the Christine Pierre Production and Entertainment Company, where she will make movies. She will help people to author books. She will just anything that you think.
Literally my dream. You're just describing my dream. Thanks.
Listen, I see it. I see it. I see it already. So please, I just want an invitation. That's all. Be in the background. I don't have to be up front,
I'll
just
do
in
it.
the background. But I see it, Christine. I do. And I'm so excited. And whatever I can do to help to support that actualizing itself, I can, again, a joy to see you there. And I can't wait because I can see you already. Listen, I got to call. Who I got to call? I got to call a bunch of directors, a bunch of people. I got to call some, but listen, go ahead and, but you should go ahead though, and you should record your audition tape in regards to the superhero and just act out and act away and send it out to everybody. But you're going to have your own production company. Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. Yep. I see it. I feel
Not
it
a bad
again.
year.
And who knows?
Heart.
That lily pad may be here, it may be there, it may look like this, look like, but all I know is you're going to have the platform to create your story. So, oh my goodness. So what would you say has been the most challenging part of your journey thus far, and why?
I think just unlearning all of the negative self-talk that's been there for years, unlearning a lot of the things that the media has taught me about my skin, my womanhood, my ability. And that's hard. Like, even if, I stand here today and I'm strong and I'm vocal and I know myself, but like, I still, maybe we as women, I still have moments where I'm just as bad as someone criticizing me on the outside. So I think being my own critic has been the hardest.
Uh,
And learning how to have grace for myself. Oh, truly. It's not the physical stuff. It's not working out. It's not having multiple jobs or scraping money together to get your pageant things ready. It's truly like being kind to yourself amongst all of these things because it's hard. Yeah, you
Please,
forget it's hard. We got this. We're good.
thank you. Thank you for giving yourself grace
Yeah.
and forgiveness, mercy. It's important that we have that for ourselves. And thank you for allowing those emotional spaces to exist in you, because I've seen them hold back so many people. Um, and because certain things we can't take back, right? But
Yeah.
we have to understand that had purpose somewhere. I may not understand it then. I shared some things with you before the broadcast about my journey, and
Mhm.
don't always understand why things happened. Um, I didn't see a future at that time. I didn't see dreams at that time. I didn't even see a life at that time,
Mhm.
right? So getting past those emotional speed bumps or barriers or blockages in the moment, experiences in the moment, could have ended it so far. But now you're here. We're here. Me and you.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue to just uplift and encourage. And thank you for just, if you need, right, if you need something to continue to combat those negative, so just wind to this part of the video of the recording. And just remember, Christine, Pierre, you are beautiful, amazing, smart, intelligent, phenomenal, super, astronomical, unique, phenomenal, outstanding. So it's that and more. So I want you to
Mhm.
know that there are people who are excited and cheering for you. I'm one of them. And I can't, and with no reservation, I'm just happy to see you grow and aspire to the amazing person that you are and that who you are continually to be. So thank you so much again for sharing. I just have just the last few questions, but is there more that you want to share about your journey? Because I do want to ask you again about encouraging those who don't quite yet see themselves to dream, and of course give you time to give some shout outs to anyone that you want to do that. But is there more that you want to share about your journey that we have not talked about that you would like to share at this time?
We covered so much. I didn't even think that we were gonna go this deep into things. But I would definitely just say, um, your dream was placed in your heart for a reason. The things that you are seeking you to. And every other corny Instagram destiny post that you can think of, it's true. And there will be a time for it, there will be a place for it, and there's a place for you. Um, and you're so important. There's only one you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone that you want to mention, give a shout out to? Again, I know you've, again, you're a wonderful family, but again, if you want to, I'll give you the platform now to just share anyone that's impacted your life to this point that you want to acknowledge at this time.
Um, First I gotta say the Miss USA organization, like, to be frank, like, they have impacted my life the
Wonderful.
most. I'm forever grateful, forever changed. I mentioned so much preparation for pageantry, but please know that I do have coaches that I've taken on that have literally given me the tools to fight this battle. And I would be nowhere without them. Um, and truly my town, actually. I'm from a town called Franklin Township in Somerset, New Jersey. And the way that we were raised as and taught as students to value the arts and sports and uh, hard work and also camaraderie and like, instilled the most pride in me. Yeah, I have a lot of pride from where I'm from. So thank you to every dance teacher, every art teacher, every coach, every teacher, every principal that came and impacted my life. You know
Wonderful.
who you are.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, um, how can people connect with you? How can they follow you, or how can they be inspired by you?
You can follow me on Instagram at _ Christine Pierre. That's ChristinePierre. Yeah, and I will be putting out some short little talks soon on a platform called Unlikely, where I explore the identities of multidimensional women as far as being in different cross fields and their conjunctions coming together. So kind of what I described before of just that multidimensionality. So yeah, that's
We look forward to your podcast. We're excited about that. And
you.
I'm just grateful for who you are. Thank you. Thank you. Before I give my final words, did you want to have any final words before I give mine?
To everyone that supported me thus far in pageantry, in modeling, just in life, people who I've never even met before, people who, like, I'm getting a hot dog and they're like, hey, you inspired me to come back to pageantry. Thank you. I do this for you. It's not even about me anymore. And I'm grateful for that. So yeah, thank you for everyone who's been with me.
Well, everyone, again, I can't thank her enough, Christine Pierre. Again, Miss Grand New Jersey 2023, Miss New Jersey USA 22, first runner-up, New York City Educator, first generation Indian Haitian, Petite model and representation advocate. I'm going to say it, bachelor's degree in communication, post baccalaureate in communication and leadership, signed model with NYMMG, model for Good Day Philadelphia and Good Day New York. Listen, she is a tremendous, tremendous influence in this world. Thank you, Christine, so much for giving up
Thank
your
you so much,
time.
Troy.
I am honored, I am humbled, and forever grateful for you sharing your journey, your truth, your authenticity with us, your liberation with us, your freedom with us, your strength of who you are with us, your light of who you are, and that which is to come. Thank you for your vision. Thank you for your strength. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for just being an amazing you. And I am so grateful for you being on our platform, our broadcast here this evening, and it will always be remembered. I can't wait for the ribbon cutting. I can't wait for the best-selling book. I can't wait for the tour, a motivational speak, all of that and more. So I am grateful for you. So continue to be that light, continue to be that star, the superstar you are. Continue to fight, advocate, share, uplift, encourage, and inspire. Thank you so much, Christine Pierre. You are amazing.
Sure.
So thank you, everybody, again for joining us. Inspiration with Troy Alexander. Continue to follow your dream. You know our motto, dream, take that step, and walk with purpose into your destiny. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night. Have a great day, and go get that dream. Thank you so much. Have a good night.